Hello, welcome to episode 31 of the Confessions of a Yarn Addict podcast. My name is Anniken and I live in the southwest of England. I hope you had a lovely Easter. We had a very exciting Easter. We're still in lockdown here in England, so we're not allowed to travel. But I did get to go away for one night because I had to go away for work. So I'll tell you more about that in a minute. It's been we went from winter to spring a couple of weeks ago, and I was sitting out in the garden, which you'll see some of that today, and then now it seems to be back to winter again. But while we had some warm weather, I did do a bit of knitting in the garden, so I will share that with you later. We've also had lots of walks on the moors, most of it on Bodmin Moor, so I'll share some of that with you, including a little bit of a knitting adventure on the moors. And we also managed to get up on Dartmoor once, so I will share some of that with you later in this episode as well. I also have some new yarn purchases, which I'll also tell you more about in a minute. I've been sitting in the garden this afternoon knitting. I got my hot chocolate in my new mug, my knitting, my tablet or some TV. The sun is just starting to drop in the sky now, but it's been a gorgeous afternoon. We got some new garden furniture, a yellow table and just plain garden sun lounger type chairs, and I am progressing well on my shawl. I have nearly finished colour 1 and colour 2, and I've just started that bright yellow is colour 3, so I'm just doing a transition at the moment to the final colour, and I've got to weigh how much I got left of colour 1 and colour 2, because I probably only got a couple of grams left, maybe 2 rows left of each to knit. And then I'll be doing a wide border in colour 3 and possibly a knitted on edging. I haven't quite decided yet, but I've been alternating between purple beads and pink beads. If I can find any pink beads actually, but oh yeah, there we are. No. There we go, that's a pink bead. Difficult to tell because there's lots of splashes of colour in the yarn. So I've been alternating the beads, and yeah, I'm hoping to finish this. Is the Wednesday before Easter today, and I was hoping to finish this before the Easter weekend. So we've done a lot of walking on the moors lately, mostly on Bodmin Moor near where we live. Try not to travel too far, but we also try to go to a place where we're away from people, so we're not meeting loads of people, because some of the most popular areas near us are just absolutely packed full of cars, and I don't really fancy doing that at the moment. So we've found a really nice place that we really enjoy, which is really quiet. We've been there a few times lately, and one weekend, probably about a month ago, we went up there and Simon wanted to take some photos, so I brought my knitting and found a big rock There's lots of big granite rocks on the moors. We walked up to the top of a tor. So we walked up to a big tor, and I found a big rock to sit on, and Alfie and I sat there while Simon walked around, took some photos, and I did a bit of knitting. So on Monday I got to go to the Midlands, and I appeared on Yarn Lane TV. So because it's quite a long way from where we live and I can't do that much driving on my own, so Simon had to come, and that also meant that we had to bring the dog. So Alfie got a couple of nights away, got one night away as well. We've had him in a hotel before, and the biggest problem is that he is a bit of a guard dog. So he does bark if he can hear anyone, and that is a bit of a problem. Luckily it was quiet. I don't think there were that many people staying there, because you're only allowed to travel for work in England at the moment, or a few other exceptions. So we, as I said, I was on Yarn Lane TV on Monday. It was nearly an hour programme, and I did a lot of talking. I've never done anything like this before, so it was really exciting. I was there to talk about my new designs for West Yorkshire Spinners, Saskia shawl and the Luna top. So I shared some of the techniques that you need to be able to know to knit those two designs, and just talk about lace knitting and talk about two designs and talk a bit about me and things like that. So if you missed it, it is now up on YouTube. I know it was streamed on Monday afternoon, and I think they've streamed it a couple of times since. I'll put a link to one of the broadcasts on YouTube below. I've nearly finished my Spectrum Fibre shawl. It's going to be huge, quite big. I've used 3 skeins, well, nearly 3 skeins. I'm on the final colour now. I'm actually on the edging, and I timed myself last night to see how long one repeat of the edging takes. I think it's 10 rows. I think the edging is a 10 row repeat. So I timed myself to see how long it would take me to knit one repeat of the edging, and it is exactly 3 minutes. And I had 50 repeats left, which is exactly halfway, because the whole edging has 100 repeats. So I had 50 repeats left, so I worked out that that would take me 2.5 hours to knit, and I probably did nearly half an hour last night, so I've probably got about 2 hours left to knit today. So I'm hoping I will get that finished today. I don't think I'll have time to block it today. I might try and block it this evening if I get time. It depends on how early I finish it today. I do have another design I need to get on the needles for a magazine deadline, so my plan is to hopefully cast on for that this weekend. So I've got some new yarn recently. I ordered some lace weight yarn. It's a heavy lace weight yarn from Blacker Yarns. They're a local yarn company. They're only about half an hour from where I live in Cornwall, and this is a base that I hadn't used before, and I was working on design submission, and they were on the list of companies that this publication liked working with. So I got this specifically for this design submission. Unfortunately, I didn't get accepted. I didn't get a commission out of that one, so that's what happens sometimes. You submit to a lot of magazines and publications, and sometimes you get accepted and sometimes you get a reject it. That's just the way it goes. But it's a really nice yarn, and I will probably use it for something else, and also probably use it for other design submissions, because I do like being able to use the yarn that's local to me. I also got some knit by numbers 4-ply from YarnAddict, which is another local-ish yarn company, a little bit further away than Blackie Yarns. This is a gradient set in one of my favourite colourways. I do have a plan for this. I know what I want to make with it, what I want to design with it, but it's more of an autumn-winter design, so I'm thinking I might put it off. It would be a design that would be good to knit on in the summer because of the size and type of design it is. So I'm thinking I will probably work on that during the summer and then release it in the winter. So that project is kind of on hold at the moment. Another weekend we had to go to Plymouth to get some stuff from a DIY shop to finish off our hallway renovation, and as we were in Plymouth we decided we'd go the slightly longer way home, and we drove across the edge of Dartmoor. So this next clip is from the southern edge of Dartmoor near Plymouth, and it's looking out over the Tamar Valley. You can just about make out the Tamar Bridge, which is the bridge between Plymouth and Devon. Devon and Cornwall. It's a bridge between Devon and Cornwall. I don't think it shows up on the video that well, but we can see it. So I hope you enjoyed this little clip from the edge of Dartmoor. I'm also working on the new design for a bag. So I haven't designed a bag for a long time, but I'm teaching my first workshop that I'm teaching. It will be in May at the Knitting Hotel in Dawlish. Really excited about that. Can't wait to get back into teaching. So I'm teaching that workshop at the end of May. It's a workshop on a mitered square bag. So I've decided to work up a new design. I did teach this workshop last autumn, but the design bag I designed for that was a little bit too simple from the feedback I got. I didn't have much warning for that, so I had to come up with something very quickly. So this time I've got a bit more time, so I'm designing a new project. I'm using the Shopball Saber Palin. So I'm not sure that I'll be able to get the bag out of one of these, so I'll have to use two. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'm basically combining two of these. So I'm taking one from one end, and so I think I started with that one, and then the next one is that one and that one, and that one and that one. I think that's how I worked it out. So I nearly halfway through that bag. I need to try and get that finished, if not this weekend, at least in the next week, so that I can get the tech editing done and the pattern ready for that workshop. I will probably release it as a pattern, but it won't be till after the workshop. I also bought some new handles. I want some wooden handles for this bag, so I got some of these, which I really like. And then I also got some of these, which I really like. So I haven't decided which handles to use yet. I'll wait till I finish the bag and then decide. But I'm really enjoying it. And it also, because I want to line it, I also need to get my sewing machine out and actually do a bit of very, very simple sewing, which will be fun because I haven't done any sewing for a few years. So that could be interesting. So I've got some very exciting events coming up at the end of April. I've got 2 virtual shows on the same weekend. So 24th and 25th of April, which is also my daughter's birthday weekend, Wonderful Wales is happening. Obviously, it's a virtual event again this year, but I'm also, as well as taking part in the virtual event, I am also teaching a workshop. So on the Saturday and the Sunday, I'm teaching a 2-hour workshop on steeking. So steeking is a technique where you knit a sweater in the round up to the shoulders, and then you cut, slit for the sleeves, or you can cut it down the front to turn it into a cardigan. It's most commonly used for stranded colorwork designs, but it can be used for just regular stocking stitch as well. Wouldn't be suitable for an all-over lace garment, for example, but you can definitely use it for all-over stocking stitch garment. It's a 2-hour workshop, so if you're interested in that, and the price is quite good, so I'll put the link to that below. I think there may still be a few spaces left. It says on the booking link that the workshops is 1 hour, but it is 2 hours. I think it's just the way the booking system they used works, but it is 2 hours. So I'll put the links to that below. And then on the same weekend, I'm also doing Yorkshire Yarn Fest on the 24th of April. So Yorkshire Yarn Fest is all on Instagram. All the stallholders do a live for about 15 minutes on the Yorkshire Yarn Fest Instagram account. I'll put a link to that below. And the Wonderwall Wales event happens in their Facebook group. So all the vendors will be putting up posts there over the weekend, and we'll all be putting up or we've been encouraged to put up a video on the Friday before, so 23rd of April. So I'll put the links to all that below if you're interested. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I will leave all the links to everything I've talked about below, and I'll also leave the links to the Yarn Lane TV episode that I was on, and also the links to Wonderwall for their Facebook group and for their for the workshops, so where you can book my steeking workshop. I'll also leave a link to the Yorkshire Yarn Fest Instagram page, and also links to the yarns I purchased, and just everything else I've talked about. You'll also find all my social media links, where you can find me, all that kind of stuff below. So I hope you had a good week. I hope you had a good Easter, and I look forward to seeing you next time.